She slammed the car door, fuming. The world's youngest billionaire CEO, Ariana Vale, had just stormed out of another board meeting where middle-aged men tried telling her how to run her own company. She was tired, angry, and emotionally drained. The moment she got into her black SUV, she snapped, "Drive." But the driver didn't move. Ariana looked up from her phone, annoyed. "Did you not hear me? I said drive." The man in the front seat turned slightly, his eyes visible through the rearview mirror, tired, red, but calm. Then, to her shock, he said sharply, "Ma'am, please, just shut up for a second." Her eyes widened. No one had ever spoken to her like that. Ever. Before she could explode, the man's trembling hands gripped the steering wheel tighter, and he whispered, more to himself than to her, "I'm sorry, but my daughter's on the phone. She's having an asthma attack, and I can't hear her." Ariana froze. The sound of a tiny, panicked voice crackled through the Bluetooth speaker. "Daddy, I can't breathe, I can't find my inhaler." The man's voice broke. "Sweetheart, listen to me, go to the kitchen drawer, the top one, by the fridge. It's there. You can do it. Just breathe slowly for Daddy, okay?" Ariana's anger melted away instantly. She could see the man's reflection, his jaw clenched, tears forming in his eyes, but his voice stayed steady, calm, fighting against panic. "Breathe, Angel. Just breathe." A long pause. Then, a soft sound, a cough, then a tiny voice, "I found it, Daddy." He exhaled, head dropping forward in silent relief. Ariana didn't say a word. For the first time in years, she didn't know what to say. Minutes later, the man wiped his face quickly, as if trying to hide his humanity behind professionalism again. "Sorry, ma'am, we can go now." Ariana didn't reply. She only said softly, "No. Take me to your daughter." He looked back, startled. "Ma'am, that's not necessary." "It is," she interrupted. "Drive. The SUV pulled into a small, worn-out neighborhood. Kids played soccer in the street, barefoot and happy, their laughter echoing between crumbling apartment walls. The billionaire in her silk blouse and diamond earrings looked out the window and felt small. The man, his name was Ethan Cole, led her up a narrow stairway to a tiny apartment. Inside, a little girl about 7 sat on the couch, clutching a teddy bear and an inhaler. She looked up at Ariana and smiled shyly. "Hi, you're pretty." Ariana knelt, smiling back. "And you're brave." The girl giggled. "Daddy says brave people never give up." Ethan's cheeks flushed. "Sorry about earlier, ma'am. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. But Ariana shook her head. "Don't apologize. You did what any good father would do." She looked around the small living room, old furniture, peeling wallpaper, a broken heater in the corner. Then her eyes landed on a framed photo, Ethan in a military uniform, holding a baby. "You served?" she asked. He nodded. 8 years. Lost my wife 2 years ago. Since then, it's just been me and Lily." Something in Ariana's heart twisted. She'd spent years building an empire but never once built something that felt. The next morning, Ariana did something no one expected. Instead of being driven by her usual security, she asked for Ethan to be her driver again. He hesitated but agreed. Over the next few weeks, she found herself talking to him about life, loss, and the invisible walls people build around their pain. He never treated her like a CEO. He treated her like a person. One rainy night, after a long charity event, Ariana sat quietly in the backseat, staring out the window. She murmured, "You ever feel like having everything still feels empty?" Ethan glanced at her in the mirror. "All the time, but then my daughter laughs, and I remember that the best things aren't bought." Something broke inside her walls. That night, she didn't go home. She went with Ethan to the hospital. His daughter had another attack. Ariana stayed there until morning, holding Lily's hand. When Lily woke up, she smiled weakly. "Miss Ariana, Daddy says you're his boss. Does that mean you're rich?" Ariana chuckled softly. "I guess so. Then can you buy him a smile? He hasn't had one in a long time." Her throat tightened. A week later, Ethan came to work, but found an envelope on the front seat. Inside was a handwritten note from Ariana. "Greater than, you once told me the best things aren't bought. But some can be built. There's a new foundation in your daughter's name, the Lily Breath Project. It'll help single parents afford asthma treatments. You'll be its director. If you say yes. At the bottom was a photo, Ariana, Lily, and Ethan smiling in the hospital lobby. When he looked up, Ariana was standing by the car, smiling softly. "So, are you ready to start something real?" His voice cracked. "You changed our lives." She shook her head. "No, you changed mine. Months later, a viral video hit the internet. Billionaire CEO finds humanity in her driver's courage. Millions watched as Ariana and Ethan spoke about the project, their friendship, and what they'd learned. At the end, Ariana looked into the camera and said, "You never know what someone's fighting through. Sometimes, the person you think works for you is the one who teaches you what really matters." Be kind. Be human. And if this story touched you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little hope today.